I'm Ian Boswell, one of the 2 Americans on Team Sky. And yeah, this is my job, I guess, to ride my bike. Power meters have kind of become a dominant factor in cycling, especially, in all other sports, it's hard to quantify efforts. One of the unique things about cycling is the use of power meters. So it's really, especially on this team, I think more than most teams, it dictates a lot of what we do in training and racing. Using the power meter to judge our efforts and also to track performance in training and then comparing that to racing.
Ben Swift, and I'm one of the sprinters on Team Sky. I've been using power now for the last 6 years. I think the biggest difference before I used it was you just had nothing really to compare, or you only had sensations really. So it just gave me much more of an educated way of training. If I've been doing more sprint focused training, it's probably more all about the maximum power, and then looking at it after about your 5 seconds, your 10 seconds sort of power and how long you've sustained that sprint for. And then if I've been doing sort of longer efforts, it's how I've managed to cope with them efforts. I'm happy as long as I see over 1400 watts. The thing that I really like about it is just how subtle it is really, how you get like the normal looking crank really, and it's really kind of discreet on the crank there.
I used to be really into average power. I think it's just kind of like an American thing. But average power is not necessarily that important, especially in races because there's so much coasting time. So the main metrics I look at after, like TSS, which is a Training Peaks algorithm based off of kind of your threshold. I also look at my cadence, because that tends to be important, especially when you're going from training to racing where maybe the cadence is higher for leg speed. And then also just usually kilojoules, and obviously if I'm doing intervals, then power for those specific efforts.
Andy Fenn, cyclist, mainly for the classics races and the flatter stages of the stage races. Yeah, we use power a lot obviously here at Team Sky. Good reference point for progression. The specific intervals during training sessions, sprints, threshold efforts, even using cadence. So there's always some sort of interval really here in the training programs we have, so every day we're kind of using power as a guide.
Using stages, I think that was one thing that a lot of people were questioning coming to a single-sided device, because we'd been on a dual-sided measuring system before, but for me, I came straight across and the power was the exact same across all metrics, whether the cadence was high, low, same with the effort. I had the exact same power readings as I had before on multiple different units. So for me, that the consistency was always there and it wasn't really a problem. The thing I like about stages is just it's so simple. It's light, you don't even notice it. The calibration's easy. It's always consistent, especially with like temperature. Because where I'm living in Nice, the temperature is changing dramatically from the morning to the afternoon, especially up in the mountains. And I think that's one thing, talking with people who are on different devices, the power meter's not like calibrated towards temperature changes, which I think over the course of a 6-hour ride can be drastic, especially if you're going up in the mountains where the temperature can change dramatically. So having that, consistency throughout a ride regarding the temperature is really important. Cool. Done. You want me to do it in Russian now?